Titus and Kevin McCollum.
Puddlegate it is. This is our first contender for What a Mampara. And we'll dish out a couple of contenders and you get to choose who it is. So go ahead on our social media as well and let us know. It's Omni Audio Africa. On X, it's Omni Audio. So go ahead and check us out. And we're interactive. So please let us know which one tickles your fancy. But Puddlegate is as follows. So Watford Women's FA National League South defeat to lose has gone viral. This is online. This is after the Golden Girls controversially went down to 9 players. Annie Rossiter was shown a red card after an exchange with the ref at a corner. And
Dre.
Thank you.
Georgiou.
Merci. She was sent off for foul language. And Jessie Gale also received a yellow for being adjudged to have dived. So there they are, right? On the pitch at the moment, obviously bookable offences, highly controversial refereeing decisions, then left Watford women with 9 players for the last half hour. And this is to... they were defeated, 3-2.
3-2, yeah.
Rossiter was going to take a corner, but then there was a puddle in the way of her run-up. So she went and she took the corner flag and took it out, right? And the ref then didn't like this and then said to her, you know what, please go back, put it back where it was. And then words were exchanged with the ref and she was sent off and the Hornets were permanently down with 30 minutes still to play. So I don't know if it was the worst officiating decision or it wasn't in the last few weeks because the Miles Lewis Kelly, the 18-year-old Arsenal star, was also sent off against Wolves. Well, anyway, eventually it was rescinded. Micah Richards, a former City player, had a lot to say.
He did indeed.
That's the worst decision I've ever seen in Premier League football history. Michael Oliver, yes, I think he's top. So he makes a mistake. Which we all make mistakes. But how on earth they could go to VAR, look at a screen, look at it multiple times, not even a split second to look at it, but 10 seconds, 20 seconds, multiple different angles, and they still think that is a red. And I don't like using the word disgrace because I feel like it's easy to throw that word out. But if you look at the magnitude of that decision, it was so poor, and then for them to double down on the decision, I just think it's shocking.
So Puddlegate actually makes me think of the Soweto derby because I think I mentioned yesterday that at the start of the second half, the ref had to actually come and ask the groundsman to fix like a divot that was in the ground. But this little divot also, I think it had to do with the sprinkler system, in all honesty, that had a bit of a leak and it was just kind of making, a swimming pool of its own there. So it makes me think of the same thing. But I mean, why is it so wrong in the run-up if it is that it makes your game better that you take it out?
Yeah, and she was very right-footed. I think that was the problem. So she couldn't put it on the other side of the thing and then run around the puddle. And that was why she couldn't take it. I mean, she just toe poke it in. Or take a short corner.
And look, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. It's not like they were in the lead in any case, She needed to actually, I'm for Puddlegate. I don't think it should be in our contenders. Do what you got to do, girl.
Okay, not the worst decision, but there have been bad ones. A good decision you can make is about what you eat. And as Mdu said earlier, I eat healthy. Winning begins with what you eat. Boost your energy with AGT Foods' range of nutritious grains and legumes. Play better, live healthier. Brought to you by 82 Foods Africa. Good food, good health, good life. Doughboy. This is Scotty Scheffler. He's the 2-time Masters champion. He had to miss 2 tournaments because he managed to cut his hand while making a ravioli. So he's a big fan of making his own pasta. He was staying at a house, wanted to make it from scratch. So they rolled the dough, but then a rental house didn't have a proper ravioli cutter. So he decides to use a wine glass. And pushed it down, but he used the wine glass with a stem, not even like a normal, but like just a little
flat
glass, like with a flat bottom. And the thing snapped, and the stem didn't quite go through his hand, but he got bits of glass in his hand, couldn't play.
And also could not eat, clearly, the dough, the pizza dough.
Well,
not pizza dough, ravioli dough.
Ravioli is not easy to make, so making it at home by himself is something else. And he talked about the fact, I don't really drink wine, so I don't know how wine glasses work. He said could have been a lot worse. At an interview they played at Pebble Beach, himself and Rory McIlroy were there, and he was asked about his hand, and he actually gave a very clever answer, and so did Rory McIlroy and basically making jokes about it.
Well, so like when you make raviolis, we wanted to make them from scratch, and so you like roll the dough and you got to cut the dough. But we were at a rental house, so we didn't have like the right tools, and the only thing there was a wine glass that we found, and I had my hand on top of it and it broke. Which, side note, I've heard nothing but horror stories since this happened about wine glasses. So be careful. Even if you're like me and you don't drink wine, you got to be real careful with wine glasses. But yeah, so it broke, and the stem kind of got me in the hand. So it's one of those deals where, like it's truly, I can't live in a bubble. Like, got to live my life, and accidents happen, and it could have been a lot worse. I actually talked to somebody who did the exact same thing, and the stem went straight through their hand. And so it's it's one of those deals where immediately after it happened, I was mad at myself because I was like, gosh, that's so stupid, but you just don't think about it when you're in the moment. And yeah, I've definitely been like a little bit more careful doing stuff at home.
Well, I think he made enough money to hire a chef. Like, it's like, why are you cooking yourself? I was hoping it was going to be a bit of a more of a fun story than that. But, we were together in Vegas on the 17th of December and played that match with Brooks and Bryson. So, firstly, just, concerned and hope he was okay. And it sounds like he is. It's good that he's teeing it up this week. But, yeah, get a chef.
Get a chef. I agree, but also shame. I mean, in his defense, also sometimes you just kind of want to get your mind off things, right? I mean, cooking is one of those things. Either you enjoy it or you don't. And maybe he's also just trying to unwind, trying to do something different. But great point, I think. You earn enough money, sorry, to get a chef. So please do.
He almost unwind. Sorry, that was
I see what you did
pun.
there. But that imagery of the stem through the hand, and you definitely, I guess he needs his hands in terms of the sport.
I mean, if you're a sportsman, you look after what makes you money. There's been so many stupid injuries. So you look at the ex-Chelsea and actually Wimbledon goalkeeper. He was trying to get a 2-kilogram tub of salad cream, of mayonnaise out of the cupboard, dropped it, and instead of trying to catch with his hands, he caught it with his foot. Cut his toe, missed 2 matches. I mean, daft.
But isn't that also just like reaction?
Yeah.
Like it's going drop, kick, Anyway, sorry for your toes. My all-time favorite, listen to this. Former Atlanta Braves pitcher John Smoltz. Now, he burnt his chest, right, while ironing a shirt that he had on. That can only be a man. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Why?
I'm so
why
sorry.
in the name of all that's holy would you do that? It doesn't make any sense.
And then the other one is, the LA Kings' Dustin Penner, he injured his back while trying to eat a stack of pancakes. Again, it can only be a man, right? It can only be a man.
Well, actually, I'm going down this list that we got of stupid injuries, and they're all men. The French golf, Thomas Levitt, tried to pick up Ernie Els, who's 6'4", and then he suffered a hernia in his back. And it was just after Ernie Els had beat them in the British Open. I mean, what do you think?
So what does this say about your species, Kevin?
No matter species, it's the gender. You think it's a gender reveal, and that's why they don't like revealing our gender.
The
Because
male
it's
species.
It's nuts, daft things. This is why women live longer. Definitely live longer. Yeah, but
Well, someone who isn't going to live long, not at the rate that he is going.
Donald Trump. Yeah, I mean, putting a 25% tariff on countries from imports is another country, but drastic and a bit daft. But it's a bit more daft when 2 of those countries, Mexico and Canada, you were hosting the World Cup
Correct.
in 2028, 26, 28, yeah. It's, poof.
26, isn't it?
26, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The last one wasn't. It doesn't make any sense, but now he's already started rolling back on those. But it hasn't helped.
So he said it and now he's taken it back.
Yeah, which is what he does a lot. He hasn't. I think he doesn't follow through with anything.
Look, I guess also yesterday we touched on it briefly, where he's now talking about South Africa and the land expropriation and how bad things and horrible things are happening here. And then I like in a way how South African leaders are also coming together from the different parties and sticking together. Julius Malema of the EFF coming out to say, yeah, we know it's Cyril.
Yeah.
However, this is our president and you will not be talking about him or, the way you have. So it is interesting just to see how, I guess, we stick together as South Africans and also just to watch what's happening on the other side.
Yeah, it's Yeah, there was booing of the U.S. anthem in Canada,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to continue happening across the world. I think people are going to do it. This is some of the boos that were heard against the Toronto Raptors when they played the LA Kings, I think it was.
LA Clippers, yeah, the Clippers.
Thank you, Mdu. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Moving on to the Sun newspaper and David Coates. The story.
Help me
makes
with the
sad.
story
Okay.
because it's going to and fro and to and fro. He's come out, he's apologized, right? He's also been very open in terms of sexuality and who he is. But now I don't understand why we're.
I don't know why we're talking about it being gay. So he says, is that an excuse for his
Behavior.
behavior, his coke use, the drunk and the swearing? But it's not. And it almost the way the Sun has portrayed this story is, it's not taking homosexuality seriously, you know, and it's trying to make it, he's the gay cocaine riff, he's the gay swearing riff, he's the gay drunk riff, you know, he's the shame riff, the sack riff, you know, is he like some sort of equivalence of a drawn
So why
gay?
did he okay the interview then?
I'm sure the Sun pay for interviews.
So okay, great. So
I think that's
now
what
he's interviewed,
Yeah.
takes the money, but does it serve its purpose?
No, I mean, what has he done for LGBTQI
IA.
rights? What has he done for those? Little. Basically, he's just come out and said, I'm gay, after he's been fired. He's not the only... is being gay a legitimate
No,
story?
I
and its own
think
merits?
it's two different stories running
Yeah.
concurrently here. Yes, you're gay, great, and we've shelved that already. That's who you are. However, it does not excuse your behavior for what else it is you've done. And I think the story is really muddled, where perhaps it's a crutch for bad behavior.
Yeah, that's so the headline was, Coke ref's agony, I'm gay. So, but gay is not something that should cause you pain. I think it caused him pain because he tried to hide it. The one person who hid it for a long time was Nigel Owens, the rugby referee, and he was speaking to Welsh BBC radio during the week.
Former Premier League referee, he said he hid his sexuality during his career, fearing the abuse he would receive for being gay. He said the pressure of his work contributed to that behaviour that led to his sacking by the Professional Gay Match Officials Limited. That was back in December. Your thoughts on that, on this headline today?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me really in the reason what he's explained there, because I think when you are living and hiding your sexuality because of fear, one, and I was the same, fear of safety, first of all, particularly in football, maybe more so than rugby, it's a very, very dark and difficult place to be. And this shows why we still need to have conversations on creating an environment in all sports. Rugby is probably way ahead here and has shown the way. Football has a lot of catch up in that sense, where we need to create an environment where people can feel comfortable within themselves, because when you are living and struggling with your identity, it's a very, very difficult and sometimes very, very dark place to be in. And you will go to the extent of trying to deal with those demons and those mental health issues in ways that we've seen here David Coates give examples of. So, there's a lot of work to be done again. It is much better now than it was, but it's just shown still that people are struggling with their identity because the fear of the abuse. And you only have to look. I'm pretty sure you go on social media today and look at some of the comments regarding David Coates coming out about his sexuality. It'll still show you there are some horrendous, horrible people there, and people wonder, why are we still talking about this? Why are people still feeling to live the lie? Then you just need to look at some of the comments on there, which are totally unbelievable sometimes.
Which one is it?
It's Grimsby. Sorry. So Grimsby, the crowd, they play at Princeville. Grimsby is an English football team, and they were only half watching the pitch because the stadium PA came on to life at half time. It's time to announce Gilliam's goal of the match winner. And who was the winner, Remy?
Who was the winner?
So Doug Hudson, the announcer, took the mic, said, today is February 1, time for January's goal of the month. And the award goes to Doug Thom. One problem, and there's a polite applause and some muttering and laughing among the Gills faithful. And he plays for Grimsby. And there's a pause and they laughed. That's what it's come to for Gillingham Football Club. This guy had basically the only 2 goals that Grimsby have scored in the league this season have been own goals. Or this year, it's in January. Only own goals. I mean, it was... it's frustrating. It doesn't want to be disrespectful, but it was a classic. Came from across, he whacked it with his left foot and went right in the corner. Head in hands, all the other players ignoring him as they walked back for the kickoff.
Wow. I think that one takes the cake.
I think that's definitely Mampara of the week.
I mean, I was going to go with the Trump making that number 1. Then I thought Puddlegate was kind of cute, but I think it was...
Bit of a stretch.
Yeah. That is it.
That's it. So we're just going to run quickly through them. So it's Puddlegate, red card, it's Donald Trump, Doughboy, Scotty Scheffler, the Sun and David Coates. But the winner by unanimous decision is Grimsby. Where's the drum roll? I gave you a compliment. But you play drums in the morning. But yeah, this has been What a Mampara. What a good start to the week.
I think there was really funny stories. I'll actually leave you with one before we actually say goodbye. Manchester United midfielder Darren Fletcher, right? He reportedly back a couple of years needed stitches in his head following the team's Champions League win over Lyon after being clobbered by a toilet door.
And that's when United football is at the moment, in the toilet.
You said it. That's a wrap of What a Mampara on this Tuesday. We're back again tomorrow with Not the Sports News, taking a look at secret recipes to success when it comes
Listen live and on demand.
Welcome to Omni Sport.